So apparently I might have to keep doing our recordings as 1 and 2. All right, guys, are we ready?
Ready.
Steady.
Okay.
I don't see us on the...
Why is that not? There we go.
There we go. Hello. Hello.
Okay.
Hi.
Okay, here we go.
3.
Hey, folks, welcome back to this episode of the GalaxyCast, as we review Season 1, Episode 2 of Star Wars Resistance, titled The Triple Dark. Which is really weird, because you would think that's supposed to be the focus of the whole episode, but yet it didn't really end up being the focus of the whole episode.
Well, the Triple Dark was an important bit. It was a kind of a code word that ended up meaning something and had a double meaning. And
Right, but it was kind of weird that we didn't really mention it until almost,
halfway through.
Well, I think it was even a little further than that. I think we were a good 15 to 20 minutes in before we heard the word Triple Dark come out of anybody's mouths, which I thought was interesting. Hey, that's interesting. I did not know that Dee Bradley Baker is playing the voice of Glenn. That explains so much right now.
And Gravel.
Yeah, and Gravel too. So, yet again, there's Dee Bradley Baker all over the place. So, long story short, we start to see for the first time whether Kaz can... fake it, I guess is the best way to put it, as a mechanic here on this station. So what did you guys think of his faking as a mechanic?
I hated where they went.
Okay.
I did not want to see the cocky, know-it-all teenage kid overacting and walking around. I'm a spy. I'm going to sneak with my hands in the air and doing all these cartoony things that were just stereotypes, of this whole idea. And it really disappointed me that he's a cocky, unlikable, the story arc, he's got to learn from his mistakes and learn to not be cocky, and he does by the end of the episode. Yeah, in a few moments he entirely changes. And I didn't like what they did. I liked him more the first episode where he was getting into trouble, but he seemed like he was, that whole cockiness. And people don't act like that in real life. People don't sit there going, yeah, I knew that. It's like you don't act like that. And to me, when they do that and they overdo it, it just doesn't work for me.
Okay.
So,
Gary, what did you think of his like?
I was about ready to walk out of it. And come out here and sit at the table.
Okay. But is it the same thing, like the cockiness of Kaz in that regard?
The childish stuff that he was doing, that's all.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't need it.
I get it.
It's Ezra all over again, in a way.
It's like, not even. It's Ezra was a little more likable than this guy is.
I'll go back one further.
And that's hard to imagine, me saying that.
I'll go back one further. I think this was very Anakin-esque, from Attack of the Clones. If politicians aren't going to make it happen, then I'll just make them do it. You know what I mean? That was almost the mentality of this kid, too.
No, not really.
But without the power behind it.
Yeah.
And that's the really weird thing. But Anakin can get away with it because he had some power and he had some respect in the fact that he had all this, power in the Force. Kaz has got nothing. It's like...
But the difference with Anakin was he knew he had the power, and he didn't know what to do with the power, and he was getting that anger coming out. That means that he's going to be turned to the dark side.
Right.
The other thing I don't like about this is, for someone who's supposed to be secretive and have some sort of, decorum about, I'm on an information-seeking mission.
Yeah.
He talks about being a spy a lot.
I'm a spy.
I'm a spy who needs to spy my spying mission. I'm going to spy. Is this how I spy? I got to go spy. It's like, shut the heck up. Please.
Apparently he doesn't know what spies are.
Display this stuff. They're doing that whole, we're going to tell you and not show you story method. We're going to talk things way too straightforward, and there's going to be no subtlety to the dialogue, and there's going to be no subtlety to the way he acts. I was afraid it would get, granted it's a cartoon.
Yeah.
But it's too cartoonish. His way he's acting is too over the top, and it's not working for me. And
I've been thinking about this a lot lately too. It's a cartoon, think about this for a second, that's on Sunday night at 10 p.m. A cartoon.
Yeah.
Sunday night, the day before school, at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
And right now, at least from the 2 episodes we've seen, I would say the target audience is the tweenies, right? Between 10 and 15, I'd say. First off, that's not a time that tweenies should be up. At least I hope they're not up. As a teacher, that concerns me. So, okay, let's say they have DVRs for a minute.
It is a DVR world.
Let's say it's a DVR world, and I get that. That's totally fine, and they can live with that. Here's the flip side of it, too. I think they've marketed it so well to the tweeners that they forgot everybody else. And so a lot of the cool stuff they could be putting in, not there. I agree with you guys. Actually, for once, I think we might actually be pretty close to be on the same page. I'm starting to get a little concerned about the show after today's episode. The weird thing about today's episode is the best character in the whole show is BB-8.
Right.
And I can't believe I'm saying that. I not because I love BB-8, because I do, but that's a completely different story. I didn't want BB-8 to be the focus of this show. I wanted Kaz and all the pilots to be the focus.
And granted, we've met none of the pilots. We've met one other pilot.
One other pilot.
There's a lot to go.
Maybe it'll get better. I don't know. I don't know. But at least of what we've seen so far, I'm kind of like, wow, I don't know. What about Kaz's interaction with the other people with the crew? So we've got his reaction with, who's the main guy there? Crud, what's his name?
The lead guy. I can't think of it.
Hang on.
This is where we've got to learn their names.
Yep.
And they're not doing a great job at imparting that upon us and making us...
Yeager, thank you. So what did you guys think about his interaction with Yeager?
Yeah, I will say at the very end, Yeager did not seem to be at all concerned that he was being told someone was a pirate assistant.
Right.
And was blowing it off. And it's kind of like, I would listen to that, if I lived on this platform that could be attacked by pirates. And if,
You already do it, though.
He does. That's the thing. I mean,
well, and what if Yeager's working with the pirates? You know what I mean?
Or he's just one of those... I don't see
neutral
nothing.
guys.
I don't say anything. I'm making money.
Because remember, the ship he's working on is a pirate ship. He doesn't say that, but that they worked on a pirate ship. So Kaz worked on a pirate ship. You know what I mean? So that I don't know. That was kind of a weird one. And Niku apparently is clueless, so that works for that too.
It's that whole They've played him up, like I said, as this completely innocent, naive character, and that's what they're going with.
What about Tam, which is the female that interacts with all of them? What do you guys think of Tam so far? I mean, we saw her a little bit in this episode.
I think they're just going for the stereotypical, she hates him, but she's going to end up liking him in the end. He's rough around the edges, but he'll get better.
Right.
Just all the stereotypes you could name in terms of two characters interacting is kind of being thrown at this. And that's what's annoying me. I was hoping for something a little more original. And they do. All these animated shows keep aiming at a young, teenage, cocky character.
Right.
It's like they don't want to do the Luke Skywalker. They want to do Han Solo as a kid type thing. It's like, but Luke Skywalker, the innocent one who you kind of learn with, is the one that's more interesting to me. It's like, maybe because I didn't grow up as a cocky kid. I grew up as someone who was always, nervous, and I was a typical, loner kid. So I would be more interested in seeing this guy act realistically like, I don't know how to be a mechanic. What do I do? It's like, instead of being like, I have a mission.
I'm a spy.
I have mixed feelings about this because, again, I'm going off of what I know. Kids today have a tendency to be a little more cockier than we were.
Way more.
I call it the know-it-all syndrome because they all have it. They all think they know it all. You know what I mean? Even though they don't. And they don't want to admit they don't know it all. And so I see a little bit of that in Kaz. And I think that they're playing to that. I think we get confused by that because that's just not the way we grew up.
Right.
We grew up with the ideal that we have to learn a lot still. And a lot of teenagers today come in. And I do owe it to the internet that they can Google anything, so they'll know it all at their fingertips. But I don't know if I like it being played off in this character. Like, when you look back, Ahsoka was the same way, but she still felt like she had a lot to learn. Like, she still respected Anakin. She still felt like she needed to learn from Anakin, even though she had that kind of, like, cocky attitude about herself. It wasn't so cocky that she couldn't learn from the people around her. Mm-hmm. I think that's the thing I'm worried about with Kaz is you're not getting that, like, at least he knows part of his place. He doesn't think that he needs any of that. And that's, I agree that seems very off-putting, I think.
He's not likable.
Not yet, anyway.
He needs to be likable. And to be likable, he's got to do some stuff that I would identify with more,
Right.
and just, I don't know.
What about the role of Greville in this episode and the two other guys that were behind him? Did that really matter to you at all? I mean, like, ultimately, did that storyline play out well or no?
Well, I think he saved the guy's life. That's going to matter later. He got him through the door instead of being stuck outside. But like we get into blocking again.
Mm-hmm.
He hid behind a single crate 4 feet away from these two guys talking. There was no hiding. That's not anything where you might not be heard. That's you're sitting behind a crate where I can totally see you from 4 feet away. So the whole getting caught.
And you get a droid going.
And they're talking to each other without whispering. It just.
I'm spying. I can see what they're doing.
It's like I said, it's all being done as if it was like, this is what I would write. If I was writing a script, this would have been my very first draft where I was explaining the character's motivations and the blocking and everything in the most obvious of terms so I could plot it out. Then I'd refine it to figure out the best ways to present this,
Right.
And
you don't think there was any refining?
It doesn't feel like there's a lot of refining. It feels like they're going with tropes.
Yep.
And it's nerve-wracking. And then they had the thing that really upset me the most about this episode was the entire sequence out on the platform when the pirates were attacking and him getting. They just threw reality out the window with him getting blown off of the thing, landing on a flying pirate ship windshield. He's absolutely fine, even though the ship's flying at 100 miles an hour, and he smashes into the windshield. He's like, "Oh, hey, joke, I'm on your windshield." Then he flies off that and lands back on the platform without being hurt.
In a bucket.
It's just like they took it and went, now we're going to throw in physical comedy stuff that is just completely breaking the reality of any kind of physics in this show. Let's just throw that out the window for a joke.
When you had Jedi, you could get away with that, but this is not a Jedi, so you cannot treat it the same.
No, it was just totally out of place. It wasn't necessary. It was a bad joke to begin with, and it was a horrible visual. So that sequence was, to me, one of the lowest rated things I've ever seen in a Star Wars animated moment. It was garbage.
What about, the actual concept, the triple dark? That pirates would come in on a cloud, basically attack a station and leave.
Makes sense.
Is that a cool idea?
They come in. There's things about the episode I gotta say I liked. I liked the way the pirates attacked. I liked the way, I gotta admit, I didn't see that feedback thing coming back and being important.
Yeah, until the end.
And when he used it, I was like, okay, that they got me. He
right.
And I thought he'd use the comm for something else, but the fact that he could use it to mess with, to do a feedback loop into their, that all was kind of cool.
Right.
I was fine. If they had done a better telling of the rest of the episode and ended with that, I would have thought it was a good episode. But all the garbage they did to get there bothered me so much that I was just like, okay, fine. He gave him a feedback loop and whatever. So I liked some of the plot, and I liked, the idea that there are pirates out there, and the first thing he's realizing there are pirates, and that this is a bigger mess than he thought. There's more here involved. There's things that were interesting enough about this episode, but the way they got there was bad.
Well, so what about the ships, Gary? Did you like the Imperial ships, the way they portrayed them? I mean, it looked like an Imperial shuttle that had been...
Oh, the pirate ships, you mean?
Yeah, they've been kind of kit bashed and...
Yeah, I always liked that type of, throwing together ships and stuff. I always liked that idea. Even the racers are a little bit kit bashed, too.
Yeah.
What did you think of the pirates being like a Bosk alien and, a mix there of...
I like seeing some of the old aliens.
Yeah.
Some of the throwbacks to Return of the Jedi, even Empire, because the guy's helmet that the one guy was wearing was like a General
Veers helmet, yeah. I loved having the Trandoshan. I thought that was a good,
Yep.
And then the other guy's wearing just Stormtrooper armor, even though he's a pirate. I thought that was kind of
the
cool
one who crashed.
Like a cool little, just throwback to, hey, I've got Stormtrooper armor, check it out. That of all the things I was trying to look for, that was like that was the couple of things I did like was the throwbacks to the older Star Wars that we know and love.
And then you said that they're just basically racing speeders, but they got weapons on them.
I didn't realize they had weapons on them, so that was
someone in the
nice
very first race when he was watching from the platform, someone fired something.
Oh yeah.
At one point during the very first race we saw,
and took the leader out.
Yeah, it was that. Yeah, so I mean that was nice. That was at least a change of pace.
And they're clearly implying that there's something important about this platform.
Obviously.
Because,
other than just being a spy
he was dropped there on purpose.
Right.
Because why was it originally that Poe put him on the platform? He knew there was something going on, that there's some sort of information. There's a spy on the platform. You got to find the spy, talking to the First Order. And now these pirates working with the First Order trying to attack not the First Order,
Yep.
trying to attack the platform, all implies that there's something important
Big.
on this platform. And we haven't met that guy who's up in the tower yet.
True.
You know, and so there's obviously a story they're building towards here. I can appreciate that. And that they're giving me just enough clues that
Right.
I'm okay. Keep putting
Still wanna
pieces
keep
together.
moving towards
Yeah,
that,
I'm
yeah.
fine with all that, and I'm fine with that pacing of storytelling. But they got to knock it off with the stereotype characterizations and with the bad physics. Take that out.
So here's my next question before we go into the rating of the episode. What did you think of the reveal at the end here, having Phasma at the end, having Gwendolyn Christie, voicing Phasma, and Phasma, obviously they're after the platform for something. Was that a good idea, bringing Phasma in at the end?
Oh, I knew Phasma was going to... I mean, we've already heard that she was going to be in
We
the
knew
show.
she was going to be in it eventually.
I just find it interesting because if there's a spy... well, this is what I'm trying to figure out. If there's a spy on the platform that he was sent to try to uncover, and there's pirates attacking the platform to get at it, I'm genuinely like, okay, what's going on? I hope this is leading somewhere important and cool, because you're setting up some dangling threads here that I hope you pull together. And I was fine with throwing her in at the end as just a tease. I'm sure she'll be in it a little more as it goes on, but that was a nice little touch. I was fine with that.
Do you like the tease, Gary?
It was okay, but I think the whole platform thing is it's not there's a person there, there's something there that they want.
That's what I'm thinking.
Or down underneath the platform, down in the water and all that.
Like fuel or something that they're looking for.
Like a cloning facility or something.
Oh, yeah.
I mean,
like
is
Camino or
It is a
something.
water thing like Camino. I mean, maybe there is something buried under this platform, and you'll find out it's a big important thing for the next episode, next season,
Yeah.
or I don't know. But
Maybe it's the training facility for all the kids.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I thought they did better with... I mean, he got into trouble in the first episode with the whole
Right.
darts thing and the way he interacted with people, but they never took it over the top.
Right.
It was always like, okay, it's a cartoon, but they pulled it back. In this one, he got too cocky, was too much the I'm sneaking around spy with the eyebrows going and looking around, and then he was so easily caught because he hid behind a single crate 5 feet from people, and then the whole travesty of the being blown off the platform and landing on ships and landing back on the platform. Those things pulled me so out of it that I'm nervous about how much of that are they going to do this season, because they do such a nice job from what we've seen so far with the racing sequences,
Right.
with planning those out and getting the camera angles looking cool, and and the aerial combat is kind of nice so far.
Right.
So I'm nervous about if they're going to totally mess it up with the characters and the people, but have great aerial sequences.
Okay, so let's get into our rating. 0's don't bother, 10's a must see. Anybody want to go first? I guess I'll go first. I'll go first with this one.
Go.
I'm going to give this one a
3?
3. I wasn't impressed. I wanted more. It's really bad when, again, even though I love BB-8, BB-8's my best character in the episode, and I can go, hey, that was a pretty good BB-8 episode. I shouldn't have to do that.
Right.
That was kind of like with Rebels going, if it was a good Chopper episode, it was good. Yeah, no. That was never a good thing there either. And I don't know. I agree with you, Eric. There's just a lot of immaturity here. Not a good episode as far as storytelling is concerned. The Triple Dark, the idea of it I liked, but they didn't. The fact we didn't even mention it until 3/4 of the way through the episode bothers me drastically. If we just started with that and worked towards that as the main point, I might have been more into it, but it was awkward.
Yeah.
What would you rate it, Eric?
I'll give it a 4.
Okay.
I would have liked the episode better if the Triple Dark was a looming storm that you saw coming all episode,
Right.
and next episode, at the very end of it, the pirates attacked.
Right,
And that
yeah,
was
I
for
get what you're saying.
It's like they're rushing the storytelling too much. They're really trying to cram stuff in, and that was my problem I always had with Rebels. They didn't seem to do it in Clone Wars. Clone Wars seemed to know how to take its time.
Right.
The Rebels seem to be like, we got to tell these complete story arcs in 1 to 2 episodes and put way too much in, and now they're doing it again with this. They're telling... It's like they don't know how to pace themselves and make it interesting.
Right.
I would have liked that storm had been this thing you saw on the horizon, and all episode it was this ominous thing that was coming, and as it arrived, the pirates came blasting out of it, just as he realized that guy was a spy. Great,
Right.
peek it there, next episode. Big aerial battle while he does whatever. I think they could pace this better.
Meanwhile, we had stupid things like getting caught in a box that got thrown down into
Yeah.
yeah.
It's like they did all these stuff, forced humor and all that stuff. Even like I said, the box sequence, over listening to people and getting caught, fine. But how about he ducked into a small little narrow area where he's in a shadow
Right.
and we can't see him, but then he moves and his damn trophy glints and the guy catches sight of it,
Right.
and goes, "There's people in this," and they grab him. 2 seconds there, I just rewrote that scene so it would have visually worked better and gotten rid of the silliness of it.
Right.
Put a little thought into these moments instead of just doing the bare bones that you can do in terms of setting up a physical space and then, okay, now we just tell what we want to tell. They got to put a little more thought into this. So those things pull me out too much. Like I said, the feedback thing actually was a nice touch at coming back to it, because I didn't expect it to. Usually I can pick up on those things.
Yeah, I agree
usually
with
when
you.
they drop something, you're like, oh, that's going to be important later. I didn't get, they tricked me. I didn't get that sense at all. I thought it was him being a klutz and setting off that feedback. And the fact that it worked later was like, okay, they got me. I didn't foresee that one. And it was a nice foreshadowing touch. But yeah, they gotta work on their storytelling to tell this better.
What do you think, Gary? What would you rate it?
Well, I'm in agreement with you, Bob.
A 3?
Yeah, 3. The ships is what did it for me.
Yeah, that was anything I really found
You know,
interesting.
You know my opinion on BB-8, so I won't go there.
It's okay. I'm not offended.
I did like the Greville or whatever his name is there.
Yeah.
Mine is money and all that. I
was-
did like that part.
He's fine.
I
I like him as a character.
I like
Yeah.
the trophy. It is an Erodium trophy, even. I thought that was kind of a nice little touch
Yeah.
that we didn't know until we got,
Yeah.
you know.
And the fact that you just sell the damn thing and you get yourself out of all these problems. You know?
Yeah, why don't you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But the whole, I'm a spy. I'm going to be spying on everything. That bugged the crap out of me right from the get-go.
Yeah.
And obviously they don't have any weather forecasters either. So they just...
Surprise storm.
Yeah, okay, I can see the storm coming. It would have been a good touch, but just have a radio broadcast or just a general broadcast to everybody that the Triple Dark's coming or
Yeah.
whatever, you know.
The Coruscant Weather Network.
And that's the other, yeah, you'd think they'd know. Well, when the Triple Dark comes, there's a chance we might get attacked by pirates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So clearly the guy on the platform knows, so maybe we should put out the stuff to protect us from the pirates.
Yeah. Well, golly, the storm's coming.
Shazam!
Okay, so
Was there
those...
anything? What was your favorite moment of the entire episode?
Favorite moment?
Let's be positive.
Okay.
I want to hear everyone's favorite moment.
When the pirates started attacking. I thought I liked that idea coming out of the storm and everything, and the platform taking up the defenses and stuff. That was probably my favorite part.
I know you thought it was campy humor, but I actually thought it was funny when he landed on the windshield of the ship. I mean, yeah, it was stupid, but it was campy humor, and I thought it was funny.
That's your favorite part?
I don't know.
BB-8's his favorite part.
I know.
Well,
He just doesn't want to say that, that's all.
it's a tie between that and when BB-8 came over and like, no, actually, no. You know what it was? It was when what's his face, the klutz, Glem, when he gave him the wrong item and he electrocuted himself on the ship. That was a pretty funny moment. I was pretty cool with that.
Oh, you mean Meek?
Meek, thank you. Sorry, not Glem. Meek. When he electrocuted himself, I thought that was pretty funny at the beginning. Yeah. What about your partner?
Mine was the payoff of the feedback.
Okay.
Was once he got the thing,
Right.
I was like, my instant mind went to, okay, they've been doing bad storytelling this whole time. He's going to go on there and be like, let's call off the attack. He's going to start talking on the thing and say something stupid, or you know, he's going to. That's what I expected.
Right.
And when they went and they actually used the thing from earlier, and it kind of made sense that if he's sending this through and they can't talk to each other and they can't plan, and it's it's so loud, it's painful, and the fact that they called off the attack so easily didn't quite work for me. They're like, oh, let's get out of here. But the fact that he used that was actually just a nice, rewarding moment.
Okay, cool. So I'd love to hear what you have to say. Head on over to our website, GalaxyCast.com. Head over to Twitter or Facebook and find us on YouTube. We'd love to know what you thought of this episode of Star Wars Resistance. Did you like it or did you not like it? Were you in our boat or were you in a different boat? We'd love to hear from you. And as we like to say here in the Star Production Studios, may the Force be with those who listen. To the stop button. There we go. Okay.
Well, he was waiting for us to say something.
I know.
I was waiting for like the shatter point something in there.
I was like,
Jedi Master Dillian,
really
Shazam, something.
Well,
you know.
you already mentioned the shatter points.
I did. I beat you to it.
Right.
This time around.
You did
And I did the Golly,
so I
and you did
Shazam.
Shazam.
Yeah.
You know, so
We just need Jedi Master Dillian in there, but we did that for our YouTubers.
Yeah.
So there you go. Okay, folks, have a good night. See you later. Yeah.